Hi lovely and darling viewers, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy, and this time I'm reviewing Enchantment by Orson Scott Card. So this is a Sleeping Beauty retelling. It's also mixed with Eastern European folklore, especially the Baba Yaga story, which I didn't know a whole lot about, so it was kind of cool to see that. It's pretty well explained and set up, like the world building's fine, so you don't need to know that stuff going into it, which is awesome. Okay. So our main character, Ivan, is Russian-born, but he spent some of his childhood in the Ukraine, but has really just grown up in America. His parents are these Russian Jews, and so he has this kind of different culture already in his background, and is used to dealing with different cultures, and his dad's this super nerdy, geeky guy who, is obsessed with languages, so he not only knows English and Ukraine and Russian, but he also can speak this really old dialect called Proto-Slavic, which is like 2 languages back from Russian, modern day Russian. Like they aren't even sure if they're pronouncing the words right because nobody speaks it anymore. We first meet Ivan when he's young. He gets this glimpse of this woman sleeping in the forest, and he doesn't like really know what it is, and he only really sees it the one time, but he spends his entire childhood having dreams about this woman. When he grows up and he's in college and he gets to be a grad student and he's trying to write a thesis paper on fairy tales, so totally geeking out about the fairy tales, like tons of nerdtastic stuff happening here. We also find out that Ivan is a track athlete, so he can do like run really fast and do shot put and long jump, which comes in super useful when he travels to the Ukraine again and finds the princess and then has to fight a bear to wake her up. The princess we meet is Katerina. She's from the 8th or 9th century? I think it's the 9th century. But basically medieval princess. Really small community, don't even really have kingdoms yet. Basically, she's the princess of just her village, like the chief's daughter. And Christianity is just reaching their community. Like, she grew up learning about the old gods, and now her father has sworn allegiance to the church, and now they're learning about, like, Christianity in her community, and that's kind of their thing. Now they're Christians. But she knows both religions, and she's incredibly deeply passionate about her community and keeping them safe. So what happens in here is basically magical time travel. So the field that Ivan finds Katerina in is kind of its own separate realm, like just suspended from time. And there's one entrance from Ivan's time to this world and one from Katerina's time to this little realm. And so they can travel back and forth, which is kind of cool. But only if they do it together, because Ivan's the only one who can see the pathway to his world and Katerina's the only one who can see the pathway to her world. So there's definitely a clash of cultures going on between Ivan with modern ideas and Katerina with her older ideas. The fact that Ivan is such a nerd and can speak Proto-Slavonic is super useful because that's what Katerina speaks. It's like they were destined for each other. The story has lots of clash of cultures happening. So we see Ivan, who's Russian, going to America, who's Jewish in a predominantly Christian society, not only in the States but also in Katerina's world. And there's definitely a difference in, like, technology and worldviews happening between Katerina and Ivan because of the time distance also. If any modern person was going to find her, like, Ivan is the one to best understand it, but even then, they still don't quite get each other. We also have the evil witch Baba Yaga in Katerina's world, who's the one who put the spell on her, and they have to defeat Baba Yaga, basically, or the village gets conquered. This book is kind of incredibly nerdy, but it's well explained, like nerdom. Like, Ivan takes the time to explain what's going on, and we kind of see things through Katarina's eyes also. So there's never a point where I was lost. It's really well thought out and developed world building going on here, and Orson Scott Card definitely, like, went into these two different fairy tales, the Sleeping Beauty one and the Baba Yaga one, and really just explored them and made them their own thing combined, and took them as far as he could, and it's really awesome and fun to read. The romance in the story is a bit weird because they don't really like each other much at first. Like, they're just thrown together. Like, this is what fate has decided, that Ivan and Katarina are going to be together. And they do, like, Ivan feels an obligation to help her and get her back to her family, but then he wants to hightail it out of there, and she's like, no, you need to stay, because they're gonna, like, it's not gonna be good if I show up without a husband. It's interesting to, like, see the evolution of culture and language and writing, through Ivan's, like, academic eyes. I know some people have issues with Orson Scott Card because of him as a human being, and I totally get that. I personally took this book out of the library, so I didn't even, like, I didn't spend my own money on it. Yeah, he has some really bad viewpoints about, like, homosexuality and stuff. I will give you guys that. But I think he's an amazing author. Like, he's a good writer, and yeah, this is amazing. Ender's Game is really well thought out also. I personally really enjoyed Enchantment. It's not this flowery romance, which is still awesome and good, and I loved it, basically. I gave it 4 stars. Peace out, I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye!